Welcome to the Brilliant Women in E-commerce series of interviews as part of International Women's Day theme this year, Embrace Equity. My name is Emma Bagley. I'm the founder of Zeal, a digital marketing agency specializing in Amazon, and I'm your host today. I will be interviewing the wonderful Georgie, Janion-Shaw, founder and CEO of Novello Products. Welcome, Georgie.
Thank you.
Would we be able to start the interview off with giving us a brief background of you, yourself, your role within the business, and of course, the brand Novello Products?
Yeah. So, hi. Thank you so much for having me on this interview. And my name's Georgie. I'm the founder and CEO of Novello Products. I have a background in marketing, so I've worked for a number of different businesses, but spent 10 years, for example, working at Disney. And it was there that the idea that sparked Novello Products started. So today, Novello Products is a company formed of two parts. We have the brand side, which consists of 3 consumer-facing brands. And then we have the tech side, which is a much newer side of the business, which is home to systems we've developed internally, and we're now licensing to other businesses. So that's where we are today. But back in the day, which I'll probably come on to, is it looked very different. And it was a really exciting business to found alongside working for such a big corporate.
I'm really excited to hear about this journey from going to such a successful corporate life in those amazing business brands to starting a complete new brand, which I know has been so successful to date as well. So let's start with some of the questions. And the big one, how did you start your business?
Yeah.
Let's jump right in there.
Yeah, so it's kind of an interesting story. So I started the business with my sister, and it really, the spark for the idea that sparked from a casual conversation. One evening, we were talking about various things, and the topic of coffee came up. My sister was a new mum at the time, and we started talking about various ways that coffee might help in life at stages in life. And one of the ideas we came up with was the 3 a.m. blend for new parents, or parent survival fuel, which we thought were really fun ideas. And then off the back of that, we thought about other themes like the late night crammer blend for exams and jet lag fuel, and kind of ideas just started flowing. And we thought there's something in this. So we decided to develop that concept into product. And we decided to launch as a complete trial a tiny range of 5 coffee products, themed coffee tins, on Notonthehighstreeet. So 6 months after that conversation, we launched those tins on Notonthehighstreeet, and much to our delight, within 2 hours of going live, we received our first order, and we took it. I think there are a few more shortly after that, and then we took it as a sign that our concept had legs.
Wow. And where is it today? So tell me a little bit more about, so starting off small on the high street, where are we today in terms of the business for the product side?
So we started on Notonthehighstreeet, as I mentioned, with one product, so a coffee tin. And today we're on multiple platforms. So Notonthehighstreeet, Etsy, we run our own Shopify stores, and we're also on Amazon. And we have multiple brands. So I mentioned at the beginning, one side of our business is consumer-facing brands. So we have 3. We have Sistir, which is our coffee and tea brand, so the one that I mentioned, which is how it all started. And then we have Lollylish, which is our confectionery brand new as of the end of last year. And then we have a pet offering called Taylus. So all of those brands are present on various platforms. So where we were one brand, actually one product on one platform, we're now multiple brands, multiple products across multiple sales channels. So it's changed a lot since the early days.
So, and remind me, which year did you actually come up with that coffee conversation with your sister about the 3 a.m. coffee?
Yeah, and so that was back in 2014. So that the conversation happened back then, but it took, actually our products were launched in 2014. So that conversation was a little bit before that, but it took a while for us to actually develop those products and launch them. I think when you first come up with a concept, sometimes naively as a founder or an entrepreneur with lots of different ideas, you think, oh, well, we can make that happen really quickly. And I think it really did need that 6 months to develop the product, to, develop the concept further, but find suppliers and different businesses who would work with us to get it off the ground. It always takes longer than you think.
So I'm going to ask a question, and it's off the interview question list, but what was that spark that said, actually, I'm going to give it a go? This is a great idea, whether wine was involved or not, but I'm going to give it a go. How did you yes, I'm going to do this. Let's do this.
I think we'd always talked about doing something together, and I was really, really keen to try something myself. Having worked for a big corporate, I thought it would be really fun to do the exact opposite and start something brand new from scratch. And so we both felt at the time that there was enough meat in that, or enough of an idea that could be developed, and that we were just going to go for it. In fact, we had nothing to lose. I was consulting at the time, so I was working pretty long days, but the benefit was that I was actually set up to work 4 days a week. That freed up my Friday, the 5th day. So I thought, well, why not take that on as a project? Nothing to lose. Let's give it a go and see what happens. And so, yes, it was very encouraging to get that first order. It was a huge amount of work to get there, but I think it was the determination to try something and see what happened from there that really made us go for it.
Such a motivating story. Thank you. So tell me a little bit more about the first 1 to 2 years. What was your typical day? So you mentioned about working 4 days still consulting. Yeah. Perhaps we talk about when you gave that up and then you focused. Would you prefer would you prefer that question to be focused on when you were still working corporate, or when you completely quit and went full time? The first 1 to 2 years of business.
Yeah, so the first couple of years were pretty intense. So I was working 4 days a week consulting, which I really enjoyed. It was for my 2 previous employers, and then freed up a day on the Friday to be able to do my own thing. But it was pretty intense, because starting a business is not an easy, and it requires a huge amount of time and effort to pour into it. So it wasn't just Fridays, it was every evening, every weekend, every possible spare minute went into getting that business up and running, and trying to really test products. So around an already quite busy, full-on 4-day working week. But I think what was really exciting, it was challenging as well, but exciting to try and source different elements of the product. And we pulled on a few favors from friends, so a designer friend that I had, but also we had to find suppliers who were willing to work with us and produce short print runs or short production runs, which is very easy, especially when it comes to printing. A lot of printers wouldn't even have a conversation with us. So we had to really, work our way through and work out who would work with us. We found a brilliant local printer who said, okay, we'll give it a go. And for us, a lot of our products are personalisable, which means that each product is unique. And therefore, we needed someone who could print bespoke labels for us. So a handful a day, we're talking, most printers wouldn't even have that conversation or consider it. But we were lucky to find a supplier locally who said yes. And we would go to their shop every day, pick up the labels, label up the tins in the evening, and then one of us, my sister or I, would drop those produced items at the post office, either on my way to work or her while she was out and about. And that's how it started. Really, the first 2 years looked like that. And products were stored in my sister's spare room. They were stored in every kind of spare cupboard between our 2 houses. And that's how we got things off the ground. So the first 2 years were intense, but really fun.
And was there any point in that 2 years where you just thought, no, I can't do this anymore? As an entrepreneur, I speak to many entrepreneurs who are just like, I've got to push through this wall, I've got to push through this wall, but it's hard and I want to give up.
Yeah, I think it wasn't so much in the first 2 years. It's definitely been probably since that. So after the first 2 years was when I then launched into the business and decided that it was time to take it on full time. And I think it was more at that stage, so year 3, 4, when it, the first 2 years I had the security of a regular income and the security of a fallback option, which was, if it doesn't work, I'll continue consulting or I'll take on a 5th day. That was a very easy fallback option. But the moment that wasn't there anymore, I think that's when potentially that self-doubt or That's when you start thinking, have I done the right thing? Or, what happens if this doesn't work out? What am I going to do? That's where that crept in. So it wasn't so much the first couple of years. It was then, the following couple when
and it's now at stake, I suppose.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me, we all know there's lots of lows to entrepreneurship. It's a roller coaster, but what do you enjoy most about entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so the things that I love most about it are firstly being in control of my own schedule. So especially since having had my daughter, being in control of my own time is something I really value. The second thing I think that's really important to me and really interesting to me is how quickly you can bring a product to the market. So in my previous roles within a corporate environment, sometimes it would take months, if not years, to bring a product to market. Whereas for us now, we can come up with an idea and potentially get that idea launched within days, if not hours, by ideating, photographing, developing that product, and it's pretty much an instant product, which is really exciting. And then the third thing really is I love the seeing something come to life that once only existed in my head. So seeing something that becomes a physical reality when once it was only an idea is something that I find really exciting and also really fulfilling.
I imagine as well when you get good feedback from your customers as well, it's like, that was my idea, that was my product, that was my hard work, and now I've delighted so many customers as well. That's just must be just lovely.
Yeah, I think having that customer feedback is just amazing, and the positive feedback. And also, I think, events that I've attended, like the one where we met, previously in my previous roles, when I was working for a corporate, I was presenting brands that are world famous brands and world known and loved, when talking about Disney here. So actually, that was pretty easy in lots of ways because you already had that starting point of something that generally was something that the audience would enjoy and know about. But now presenting my own business, my own brands, is a little bit more nerve-wracking because, like I said, it started in my head once, and now here I am talking about it in real life. And whilst it's really exciting, it can be quite nerve-wracking as well.
Yeah, but the feedback, you get instant feedback either from your sales or from your audience. It's I imagine that's incredibly exhilarating, nerve-wracking to start off with, but your products are so beautiful. I'm sure you've only ever received such fantastic feedback.
Yes, and I think it is, that's what I was going to say to link back to the previous question. It's about that consumer feedback, and then in the audiences at events, it's just amazing when there is such positive feedback or people are smiling at the product, because it's very rewarding and exhilarating today.
May I ask this question actually? Is your brand, your business, the product side of the business, all e-commerce, or are you in retail at all?
So at the moment, it's fully e-commerce. Yeah.